We continue with the 60th chapter of the book of Tehillim, which again starts with one of these very difficult openings. Lamnatzech al Shushan Edut Michtam LeDavid Lelamed. For the leader on Shushan Edut, perhaps some sort of instrument, some sort of testimony. It's a Michtam to David. It's something that is to be taught. And what does it discuss? It talks about something that happened historically during the life of David. It talks about two different wars. One war was with Aram Naharaim and Aram Sova up in the we'll call it Syria today, and another one was when Yoav returned and defeated Edom, an army of 12,000 men in the Valley of Salt, which is in a different area. It's not up there up north, it's towards the south. And what happens during these wars, these battles, which were successful battles? We're told about many successful battles during the life of David. But the reaction in this chapter, at certain points, these battles were difficult. And that's at verse 3. Elohim, Zinach Tanu, Peratz Tanu, Anafta, Tishovev Lanu. God, you've rejected us. You've made a breach in us. You've been angry. Help us. Tashuv, Tshuva, restore us, return us to what we should be. Here, Ashta, Eretz, Samta, Rifa Shivareha Kimata. You have made the land quake. You have torn it open, and now mend its fissures for its collapsing. Right, the troops, it's like they're falling into the water. The difficulty of these verses, the difficulty of the of a battle which they were not successful. Heritamcha kasha hishkitanu yayin tar ela. You have made your people suffer hardship. You have given us wines that makes us real, that makes us suffer. You have given us, we've seen this phrase before in other places, kosi tar ela, that the enemies of the Jewish people are going to be drinking in Yechezkel, the yayin tar ela, this wine, this terrible wine, the suffering. And here you've done it to us. In verse 6, pasuk vav natata lirecha neslit noseis b'mnei koshet sela. You've given those who fear you, because of your truth, a banner for rallying. Sela. The word Sela here, of course, we know that the word Sela is forever, or more presumably the end of a section. And right, those who fear you, they're having a lot of difficulty. You've given them reason to believe in you, or made it harder for them to believe in you. The test is harder. Verse 7, we know this verse, we say, daily laman yechaltzun yedidecho shein yamincha ve'aneni, that those whom you love might be rescued. Deliver with your right hand and answer me. We've been suffering, and save them from harm. These are our people. Let us overcome our enemies in these battles. Elohim diber b'kadsho, Eloza achalkeim Shechem ve'emek Sukkot amadei. God promised in his sanctuary that I would divide up Shechem and measure the valley of Sukkot. Right? God said to David that my descendants will last, will be kings, that we will be successful in battle. Right? That David will be the Moshiach, and he will save. Li Gilad v'li Menashe ve'Ephraim ma'oz roshi Yudah mechoki. Gilad and Menashe would be mine. Ephraim my chief stronghold. Judah will be my scepter. Right? I'm going to reign over them. I'm going to be the king. We're all going to go to battle. We're going to be victorious. Judah is the scepter. I'm supposed to be the king, the Mechokek, who's supposed to lead us in battle. Why are we losing? Moab sir rachzi al Edom ashlichna ali alai pleshet hitorari. Moab is supposed to be my wash basin, right? It's supposed to be the place of destruction. On Edom, I cast my shoe. Right, I either throw shoe in them like they do in the Middle East, or it shows that I'm stepping on them. They are imprisoned, and the Philistines should be hitorari. They should be calling out, crying out about how great I am, and they should be hitroai. I read it hitorari, like we say in Lechadodi. My apologies. They should be calling out, acclaiming us, wanting to just surrender to us, and that's not what's happening. Why are we having this suffering? Why are we losing these battles? Verse 11, pasuk Yalef, mi ovileni ir matzor minachani ad Edom. If I would have been brought to a bastion, to a fortress, that I were led to Edom. right? Why am I having these difficulties of conquering? What's going on? But you rejected us, God. You did not march with our armies. You left us all alone. Havalanu Ezrat Mitzar V'Shav Chuat Adam. In verse 13, he says, grant us your aid against the enemy, for the help of man is worthless, right? I'm not going to turn to another emperor. I'm not going to turn to another king. I'm not going to ask for mercenaries. What we need is your help, God. We are calling out the name of God. We need your help to deliver victory. With God, we shall triumph. He will trample our foes, right? If God is here, if God is the one is with us, then we are going to trample our enemies. And this chapter is one where what we see is a lot of difficulty. We thought that things were going to be simple. We thought that we were just going to be able to be victorious, and that God would just allow us to be victorious. But that's not the way of the world. There are lots of difficulties that happen. There are lots of setbacks. But ultimately, in this chapter, David is saying to God, we trust in you. This is a difficult time. We know that things have been hard, and we're asking you to come back. We know we have not been victorious, or these battles have been much more difficult than we expected because you have not been here. And therefore, with you, God, we will be triumphant. Just like David asked today, we ask God to help us to be triumphant as well in our battles, unfortunately, that remain with our enemies.